Nick Smithie, Emerging Global Advisors, is bullish on emerging markets consumers, and you have a few ETFs to prove it. The first one is the EGShares Emerging Markets Consumer ETF. The ticker is ECON, ECON, has over $1 billion in assets. So tell me, what's in it and how do you manage it?
It's a concentrated fund based upon the consumer staples and consumer discretionary sectors. However, it is diversified by country. It's a global emerging market fund, large cap, 30 stocks, and the point here is to take advantage of the burgeoning emerging market consumer theme, the growth of the middle class, and what McKinsey has called the $30 trillion decathlon and the greatest opportunity in the history of capitalism.
And you also have the Emerging Markets Domestic Demand ETF. This ticker is EMDD. How does this one differ from the Econ?
That's right. EMDD, instead of having the two consumer sectors, actually goes for 5 sectors that include healthcare, telecom, and utilities. So that's a slightly more diversified growth and income fund that gives you exposure to all the domestic demand growth within emerging markets rather than simply just the consumer himself.
And if you want to focus on India, which is having a great year because of Prime Minister Modi's reforms and confidence in him, you can go into the INCO. This is the INCO. This is the EGShares India Consumer ETF. So can Modi keep it going? And tell me about that particular fund.
That's right. The emerging market consumption theme is really coming out, we think, in India. The investment community is craving reforms in emerging markets that will accelerate non-inflationary growth. So what do we see in India? Fiscal deficit coming down, current account deficit coming down. We see falling inflation, falling interest rates, more money in the pockets of the consumer as a consequence. And we think that the consumption theme in India, with a huge population, is going to be a booming theme for over a multi-year period. So consumption in India, we think, is really at the tip of the spear of Asian consumption.
Nick Smithie, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for watching The Street.